Itaola SoccerBeat lovers is your boy Lebohang Cheezboy Mokoena bafethu. The real cheese cheddar, the real mozzarella, with the slim cut whiskasi, Petu Mark Professor himself bafethu. Mamela talking pirates. Please don't forget, 70% of you guys are only watching, not subscribing, not commenting. It's already that time, where the team is preparing for the upcoming season. 8 days into preseason. I had a first friendly game against Bolton. Bolton, who also have started their preseason, but they're a little bit further in terms of days, 10 days into their preseason, and yeah, we had the joy to watch the game and just have a feel on how the team would look for the upcoming season. Still early days. We can't really judge and say, I mean, this is the core of the team or the players that are going to play. Obviously, the coach was juggling and testing players out, different systems, So, yeah, Mark, I think I enjoyed it, never mind the result. But as a first preseason match, I think the boys did well in terms of trying to get the combinations right and also just trying to put in the minutes because that's what's important right now is to get the minutes and the fitness levels up.
Yeah, for sure, Cheesy. Preseason is to build like basic physical capacity of the players, but also it helps the coach to instill his way of doing things and his philosophy, if I may put it, or game style. And I think there were some little glimpses of good moments from the players. Obviously, you can also see, especially in the first half, that they're looking to play, they're looking to build up from the back. They playing with a little bit of confidence. You can see Mbule's presence in that midfield. You can see Nduli's presence in that midfield. I was so excited when I watched actually the first half, and I could see also what the coach was trying to do with bringing Inurile inside and pushing Uhoto wide on the left as well, because Uhoto was playing as a left back. And there were a lot of diagonal passes from even Usivisi sometimes into Hoto, or even from the midfield Unduli into Hoto or into Shandu on the other side as well. And
Yeah.
you can see what is pleasing for me is that it's the first game, but already you can see the idea of the coach. You can see what the coach is to do. You know what I mean? So I was really excited with the first half. Second half, I think that we remember we had a situation where we were speaking about the players and having a lot of players. And in
Yes.
in the second half, I saw 3 strikers starting the second half. It was
Yeah.
Kwaiwa, it was Mahopa, it was Mabasa.
Mabasa.
And to an extent, so it was a little bit disjointed. There was that flow from the first half was no longer there. You know what I mean? And now the scary part is that now, what is the coach gonna do? Is he gonna play players out of possession? Because Mokhopa was playing on the right, and sometimes Mabasa Mokhopa was on the left. Maybe it's a strategy from the team, from the coach as well. So it was also interesting to see this because Kwaiba was playing a little bit lower, maybe as a 10. So maybe the coach is trying new things. He's trying to be a little bit aggressive with a lot of strikers because also they have physical presence, and you could see also the combination of Mabasa and Kwaiba with the late runs as well into the box. But really interesting game, Cheesy, and I think it's not a bad start. Considered 2 goals from set pieces. I think maybe Moeneeb, it's something that you can dwell on it, and but overall, it's not so bad. Not so bad.
Yeah, no, no, you're right. You're right, Mark. I was also shocked with that front three, man. I'm thinking maybe the coach is trying a combination and see if these strikers can gel together. Because sometimes as strikers, if one starts with the team that played in the first half, in the mind you're starting to think, oh, is the coach working around this guy? But they shouldn't think like that. It's preseason. Players are sometimes played out of position to coach to check whether maybe there might come a time where he might need that player in that certain position or when he changes his system. So it's trying and testing times. So like you said as well, Mark, the concern of the set pieces. We've been talking about this, Moeneeb all the time, and it happened again today. And of course, Bolton, a physical side, well structured side. I enjoy such games because it helps to make the players think, Mark, especially your nippy players, your Mbules, your Relos, they need to play in those tight spaces, know how to unlock these defenses because they will be up against such teams in the league when they come back home, in the Champions League, in all the competitions that they will be in. So Moeneeb, the set pieces, my man, what could you maybe advise in terms of how you can work around that to improve the team in that aspect?
100% cheese and makes it. And what I say as well, coach, is that maybe these games, you never know. Maybe these games were organized this way, where we know Bolton and the English, especially in the championship that they are playing, they just depend on those long balls and set pieces, And
Yeah.
maybe that is why the reason why they've organized friendlies against teams like this, so that we can work on those things. This is something for the coach that he can work on as well. And you know what? We can't look too deep into it, but we know for a fact that has always been a weak spot of ours, is this set pieces. And and today again, it's something for the coach to see, and this is what it's all about for the coach, is to see what he's got, what he's working with, how I can use that, get the minutes in, get the legs in. How do we deal with such a situation? So we can't read too much into it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the first preseason. The guys are still, and I'm sure the day before this is nothing about match day -1. Like, coach, it's all about, listen, we need to get
Minutes,
the miles in the legs here, and
Yeah.
then from there you go straight into a game. That is how it is. It's not where this the Monday to Saturday build up, where it's high intensity and it slows down closer to the game. It's not that. It's we have to load, and see how we deal with the game. So there's a lot of aspects that's been worked on in this preseason friendlies as well. And I can see that team on the yellow side, people have been crying, they lost. How can you look into a result like that?
No,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? That's why I said, man, the mentality of this yellow team supporters, it's so minute for a big team. It's minute. Are you expecting to win the preseason friendly? No, my
No.
friends. Concentrate on winning the important games, not these preseason friendlies. These are build up to the big games. So the
Yeah.
narrative must be completely of what is our team going to be prepared for when the season comes. And that's what it's all about. I'm not too worried, like Coach has said as well. You see all these different things. Obviously, Coach sees it differently because he sees it from a coaching point of view. Me and you, Gigi, we're seeing it from eating the popcorn and on the side there and thinking, when I'm at Uber. We need to see it from the coaching point of view, and that is what the aspect is the purpose of why these games are being played. Yes, we're going to work on our set pieces, and I'm sure our coach has checked himself. Hey, okay, good. Now I see what is needed for the set pieces, what needs to be worked on, and that is what the preseason is for, is to work on all those work stuff, on those weak areas that we have. So I'm saying as well, I'm not too concerned. Nice to see our boys, nice to see Mbule moving around, getting involved,
Yeah.
and all the different aspects that the coach is using, different varieties. Can't look too deep in that as well, because we don't know what his thinking is. As much as we'd like to know, we don't know what his thinking is. So it's good to see our boys together again, and all the new ones getting some time with that badge on their chest.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
important.
Oh yeah. Mark and Fit. Mark, like I picked up something as well. I think this has been, we've seen it at the Club World Cup as well. The technical ability in Fit and the tactical discipline from European teams, whether it's in the championship or at the higher level. Like I just saw sometimes the control of our players, it's not as, it does not direct play. Sometimes they were caught in possession because of the technical ability in terms of where to control the ball, which spaces to move into. Sometimes we were caught with those smaller mistakes, and those are the things that we need to fix, in order for us to be one of the best teams. Because I mean, looking at a team like Bolton that's in the championship, a lower division, but when they pass the ball, it sends a message. There's a message with that pass, as well. The aggression on the ball, protecting the ball, knowing which spaces to run into, and like you said, we tried our passing and whatnot. We could not just break them because tactically they were smart, they were disciplined. Maybe their approach was, we defend the first half and try and work on our defense, and then second half, let's try and press and see how's our pressing coming up. So when it comes to our technical ability, Mark, and I think that's something that we can improve on. I don't know how you saw that.
I don't know why Moeneeb is saying that you're not a coach, Cheesy, because you understand this, and this is a big part of the game that we neglect so much. You speak about a pass that that sends a message. It's all about having an intention. The intention of the first pass, the intention of the control, how you receive, how you open your body in certain possessions as well. Because especially in the first half, when they were blocking the central zone, I could
Yeah.
see maybe sometimes the Ropani dropping. I could see Maswangai dropping, but they are dropping with a closed body posture. So they can
Yeah.
only go back. So when the pass comes from Umbogazi into the central zone, their first touch is backwards, and then they pass the ball back to Umbogazi. Kandi, if they get there with the right body posture, side on, you receive back foot. Now you can see the game. You can see a forward pass. You can see the next line. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So these are things that we neglect so much in that elite space, especially in our context, which is South Africa at the moment. When you look at also the Bolton players, they are physical, they are strong, they are big, but technically they top. You know, the fast, the pass, the control, the body posture, how they use their body also to protect the ball, but also how they use the ball so much because they also play from the back. You know, they also playing through midfielders with the number 6 there that plays with the open body posture, you know. So even when Mbule tried to press, when Mbule tried to press, when Masongai tried to press, he was always ahead because of how he received the ball. You know, the first touch, you know, back foot into space, you know. So these are things that we need to, you know, emphasize on, you know. And for me, it's spot on, Cheesy, what you have just mentioned now. Especially also when you're playing against teams that are playing low, you need those players to have this kind of capacity to be able to play in small areas, because Bolton was playing more central in a more medium low block. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're high or lower. So there was no space in between. So if Urile comes inside, you need the right body posture to be in that space. You know, you need the right control, the right first touch. That opens up your body, that opens up the game, and then you can find, you know, a secondary pass or a secondary position as well. So spot on, Cheesy. Spot on, my brother.
No, I think it's
That
something.
is why we say, Coach Cheesy, that is why we're saying, that is why we're saying we are the coaches. Listen to that explanation. That is in depth. That is in-depth explanation of pockets, of how to move in that pockets. If it's me as a supporter, man, like I'm watching the game, me and you, we say, hey, man, we happy. Say, Shibaba, man, Tatamaya. But those explanations, that is why we say the coach's view. The coach's view. We see it differently, Che. That is what I meant, Coach. That's what I meant.
Yeah, spot on, Nippy, spot on, Ninja Army, spot on, Mfethu. You know, I think there's still more games to come. You know that we are going to be following SoccerBeat lovers from Pirates in the preseason camp, and you know, don't forget to like, subscribe, guys. All 70% of you are watching this thing, but you are not pressing that thing. Press something. Mark, tell them press subscribe. We are on 60. We want 100,000 Ks.
At the board. Where's that board?
No, the board. I coached the board. I found out that I spelled the word wrong. We left out the S on the thing. It was subscribe. My immediately when I was done with the show, my son, he watched it. He asked me, Dad, I want to see your report because you can't spell.
SoccerBeat lovers, Bafetu, please, man, please like, subscribe, comment, share the video, Bafetu. Tell a friend to tell another friend that Ziakala Lagu Talking Pirates and SoccerBeat as a show as a whole, Bafetu. We had to give you the best, only the best, Bafetu. So from us, Talking Parania, from Mark Professori and Moeneeb Whiskas, come fail, Bafetu. Oh yeah.
SoccerBeat, what?